What if one card could take over the whole pod? Welcome back to Wanbo MTG, Japanese Commander Tech. One unusual card, one deep dive. Let's get into today's card. 2 mana, and the giant you cheated onto the battlefield never leaves. Sundial of the Infinite. 1 mana, tap it, and your turn ends right there. Every spell and ability on the stack gets exiled. And yes, you may do this to your own turn. Exiled is not countered, and it is not a fizzle. A trigger on the stack simply stops existing. A delayed trigger only triggers once. Gone is gone. Sneak Attack puts Terrastaden onto the battlefield for 1 red mana. Up to 3 permanents blow up, and a giant elephant attacks. Then your end step arrives, and you hand it right back. Be honest, how many times have you just accepted that? Let the sacrifice trigger go on the stack, then tap the sundial. The trigger is exiled, and the elephant is yours. Permanently. Kiki-Jiki copies your best creature every single turn. That token is supposed to die at the next end step. It never gets there. The copy is simply yours. Through the Breach, Felden, Flameshadow Conjuring. Every one of those loans just became permanent. Timing is the whole card, so why not end the turn early and skip that end step completely? Now hold the sundial up on your own end step. Somebody answers your board with Cyclonic Rift. Tap it in response, and the rift is exiled. Your end step was ending anyway. That cost you nothing. Spells that can't be countered get exiled all the same. And it eats abilities, which no counterspell can touch. It also pulls every creature out of combat. So when a block goes badly, end the turn before damage. No damage, no dead attacker, and one very confused opponent. Your upkeep works too, once the triggers are on the stack. Demonic Pact never reaches the mode that kills you. Pact of Negation becomes a counterspell you never pay for. So why not end the turn early and skip the end step? Because the trigger just waits for the next end step. Let it trigger first, then exile it off the stack. 2 real warnings. Your own spells are sitting on that same stack. End the turn mid-combo, and you exile your own pieces. And no, the cleanup step still happens. You still discard to 7. Greed is not a rules problem. Until end of turn, effects still wear off too. So Zealous Conscripts gives the creature back. People notice when your turns keep ending early. Soon the table saves removal for your upkeep. So what would you keep forever? 5 mana, and the best spell at the table becomes yours. Perplexing Chimera. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may offer a trade. They get the Chimera, and you get their spell, and you may choose new targets for it. This is not a counterspell. The spell still resolves. It just resolves for you instead. If the spell makes a permanent, that permanent is yours. Blightsteel Colossus lands on your side of the table. And yes, a commander is a spell like any other. They built toward that all game. You just say thank you. An opponent casts Demonic Tutor, and you take the spell. So whose library do you search? Somebody overloads Cyclonic Rift for 7 mana. Overload has no targets at all, and that changes nothing. Be honest, you have lost a whole board to that card. Take the spell, and every board except yours goes home. Bribery digs through a library for the biggest creature. When that one is aimed at you, take it and turn it around. Now their library is the one getting robbed. Time Warp is even simpler. Extra turns have no targets, so the extra turn is simply yours. Rite of Replication with Kicker makes 5 copies. Take it and point it at your own best creature instead. 5 copies of Craterhoof Behemoth end the game on the spot. Carnage Tyrant cannot be countered, and it never mattered. You are not countering anything. You are taking it. So whose library do you search with their Demonic Tutor? Your own, because you are the controller of that spell now. Every word on it that says you is pointing at you. Their Cultivate ramps you. Their draw spell fills your hand. 2 real warnings. The trade happens when the trigger resolves, not before. Kill the Chimera in response, and there is nothing left to trade. And never take a counter spell that is already aimed at you. If there is no other spell to hit, the target stays put. You would counter yourself and hand over the Chimera. Beautiful. Remember that the Chimera works for them now, so the next big spell you cast might not stay yours. Homeward Path sends every permanent back to its owner. You still own the Chimera, so it walks right back to you. Trade it away, take it home, and do it all again. After 1 steal, nobody casts anything good into you. A 5 mana creature that quietly turns off the whole table. So which spell would you steal first? 1 mana and 2 life, and the creature that cannot be destroyed falls over dead. Hex Parasite. The ability wants X plus 1 black mana, or 2 life instead. Take up to X counters off any permanent. There is no tap symbol, so you may do it again and again. Loyalty counters are counters. A planeswalker sitting on 3 costs you 3 mana and 2 life. No damage, no destroy, no attacking. It simply stops existing. Do it in their upkeep before they ever get a turn with it. Be honest, You have tried this in response to an ultimate. That ability is already on the stack, and it does not care that its planeswalker is gone. Now Avacyn, Angel of Hope, hits the table. Every permanent they control is indestructible, and your removal is dead. So what is a 1-mana bug going to do about that? Persist returns a creature with a -1/-1 counter. Take that counter off, and it gets to persist all over again. Murderous Redcap, a sacrifice outlet, and 1 mana a turn. Undying is the same trick, with a +1/+1 counter. Stun counters keep your own permanents tapped, so take them off and your board wakes up. A shield counter is often all that keeps their commander alive, so take it off first. Sagas are where this gets greedy. The Eldest Reborn reanimates on Chapter 3, and then it is sacrificed. Respond to that Chapter 3 trigger, and remove 1 lore counter. The trigger still resolves, and you still get the creature, but the saga is back down to 2, so nothing is sacrificed. Next turn it reaches 3 again, and Chapter 3 fires again. Your graveyard is now a subscription service. Dark Depths is a land that enters with 10 ice counters on it. 10 mana and 2 life, takes all 10 off in 1 activation. A 20/20 flyer that cannot be destroyed, out of a land. So what does a 1-mana bug do about a creature that cannot be destroyed? It takes the counters away, and 0 toughness is not destruction. Hangarback Walker, Walking Ballista, Primordial Hydra. All of them are 0/0 underneath. Indestructible does not help. It targets, so Hexproof and Shroud shut it down completely. Poison, experience, and energy sit on a player, and a player is not a permanent. Nobody taps out with a planeswalker on 3 anymore. So which counters at your table have been safe for too long? 2 mana, and every token you make enters as a 7/7. Mystic Reflection. Choose a creature on the battlefield. The next creatures to enter this turn all show up as copies of it. Not the first one, every single one. So 1 spell that makes a pile of tokens hands you a pile of fatties. Second Harvest doubles your tokens, and every new one is Endre's Forerunners. Each copy still triggers when it enters. 10 Forerunners means 10 team pumps, stacked on top of each other. Your opponents will start counting on their fingers. Let them. Now flip it around, because this is also a counterspell. They cast Reanimate on Archon of Cruelty. In response, you point this at your smallest token. The Archon walks in as a 1/1, and its trigger never happens. 2 mana to blank their whole turn. Now notice what you never targeted. You never touch the creature that's coming in. Hexproof, Ward, Protection, none of it saves them. Now, here's the part the card doesn't tell you. What if the creature you chose dies first? It catches planeswalkers too. Their Eugen resolves and lands as a 1/1 creature. No loyalty, no -10, just a body. And the creature you choose doesn't have to be yours. Point at their best fatty, then blink a token with Ephemerate. It comes back as their fatty on your side of the table. Now, 1 word on this card does all the limiting. Non-legendary, and it only limits the creature you choose. Your commander can never be the template, but a legend walking in, completely fair game. They recast their commander, and it lands as a 1/1. One thing copies never bring along is counters. Auras and equipment stay behind as well. It's an instant, so you keep it up and react to whatever happens. Or foretell it for 2, and cast it later for a single blue. Foretelling is a special action. Nobody gets to respond. So what about that creature you chose dying first? Nothing fizzles. The copies use whatever it last was on the battlefield. So sacrifice it to Ashnod's altar in response, and still get your army. Careful with the timing though. The very next creature to enter eats the whole effect. Anybody's creature, even 1 stray token. So cast it when nothing else is about to hit the table. One last thing. Don't do this to the same player every turn. Blank somebody's big turn twice, and the whole table remembers. So which creature would your tokens become? 4 mana, and the thief who steals your commander can never sacrifice it. Assault Suit. The equipped creature gets +2/+2 and haste. It can never attack you, or any planeswalker you control, and it can never be sacrificed by anybody. Here is how commanders actually die in this format. Somebody steals yours with act of treason, then they feed it to Ashnod's altar, and it is gone forever. With the suit on, that whole plan becomes an expensive rental. Blasphemous Act still kills the creature. The suit is an artifact, 3 mana, and it is bolted onto the next one. It also cancels the sacrifice clauses printed on your own creatures. Ball Lightning is a 6/1 that dies at end of turn. In the suit it is an 8/3 that simply stays. Now the strange half of the card. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may hand the creature over. They control it until end of turn, and it untaps. Be honest, that sounded like a drawback. It still cannot attack you, so it swings at somebody else. You choose which opponent gets the beater, every single upkeep. Nobody is forced to attack with it. They always do. The untap is the line everybody skips. Swing with it on your turn, then hand it over tapped. It untaps, and it attacks again on their turn. One creature, attacking on every turn of the cycle, and never once at you. Everybody reads that last line as edict proof. An edict resolves, the suit is on your best creature. What dies? While an opponent holds your creature, the suit stays yours. They cannot move it, they cannot keep it, they cannot sacrifice it. Goblin Bombardment does nothing. Viscera Seer does nothing. That makes the suit a genuine bargaining chip. Attack the player who is winning, and the loan keeps coming. So an edict resolves, and the suit is on your best creature. What actually dies? Any other creature you control. You never get to decline. The suit protects that creature. It does not protect you. But when it is your only creature, the edict does nothing. Two traps worth knowing. You cannot sacrifice it either. No altar, no birthing pod. Sakura Tribe Elder can never dig for that land again. And they get everything the creature does while they hold it. Attack triggers, tap abilities, all of it. So suit up a beater, not your value engine. So which creature would you trust an opponent with? So, did you find your new favorite card today? Or a line you'd never thought of? That's what we do here. One card, one deep dive every time. There's always another hidden gem waiting for your deck. If this got you hyped, smash that like, hit subscribe, and tell me your pick in the comments. From Japan to your table, I'll see you in the next one.